If you have been drawing for a while, you've probably seen those artists that color their drawings with grayscale. And judging by the fact that you clicked this video, you want to try it for yourself. And as someone who recently just learned this, I know that there's like 1,000 tiny details that most art tutorials just skip over because they think, oh, it's common knowledge, but it's not for like me and you. I'm gonna cover how to grayscale your drawings from start to finish in detail so that you can try this rendering style without being so confused. Here are a couple of my previous attempts, like I did grayscale on here. I have the grayscale for this drawing, and it's a big jump, right? Because essentially grayscale is like rendering minus the colors. So how can we go from like here to here? I'll start this off with my best attempt at grayscaling so far, which was in this Splatoon piece. And as you can see, I have this sort of mid-tone gray throughout the entire canvas just to get started, right? I also have an arrow here to tell me like, okay, where is my light source spacing? I know a ton of art YouTubers tell you to do this, and I know you may have ignored it just like me for a long time, but I'm telling you, especially in grayscale, if you just have this arrow, it doesn't take that much work to put it down and it can help you a ton. So please trust me on this. Try it, because as someone who never tried it before, surprisingly, it's very, very useful. As you can see here, I am adding all these colors, and let's just stop. So these colors are like cell shaded, right? There's no sort of blending here because all I want to do is just get the lights and darks down as fast as possible. Because it can be super strangely demotivating when you see like one fully rendered part, at least for me, and then everything else is unrendered. Because now you have the pressure to, okay, I need to make sure everything is that perfect. But if you just plop down the base lights and shadows in a quick 10 to 5 minute time frame, you don't get caught up in that perfectionism, and you can see like, okay, if the arrow is pointing here, okay, I have my lights here. Let's try to put some darks in. And then here's where you really need to understand rendering techniques, because grayscale isn't just about, oh, coloring in gray. No. You are literally rendering minus the colors. So let's take a quick break to talk about rendering techniques. Now, there's a bunch. Okay, so what do we have to think about when we are rendering? Obviously, as we said, the light source. Now, the second step, obviously, it's shadows, right? So let's talk about the third step, which is ambient occlusion. It's like basically when two objects are touching each other. For example, your fingers have these little like tiny dark gaps in between them. And that's because like no light can penetrate through there. So anytime an object's touching, like for example, this ground right here, I have my ambient occlusion. That's exactly what I did here at this part with the hat on the hair, and the hair on the face. So there's your third step. It depends always on your material too. Like if this was metal, then there would be a ton of highlights like everywhere, dude. But if this is like cloth, it would be something like that, where it's like so blended out that you could barely tell because cloths are soft. Okay. So far we got lighting, shadow, ambient occlusion, and material. Material is an interesting one because I don't hear many people talking about that. But just remember, soft materials like cloth, they have softer shadows. A rock would have a lot of more harsher shadows because it's very angular. And metal has really sharp highlights and shadows because it's super reflective and it's just metal, right? Okay, bounce light. So bounce light is essentially when, I'll show you as well, like I have this red thing, and when this red dude is near the wall, look at that. The red bounces off onto the wall. The red light bounces to the wall. Like, I think that's so cool. Like what I do sometimes, I literally just move my hand towards different objects to see like, oh, is my light reflecting off of it? And I'm weird. It's okay. This light is going to bounce off on to here. Blend that in, and by consequence, it will form something called a core shadow. And what that basically is it's a dark shadow. It usually happens around here where the light from the direct light from the light source falls off, but the bounce light isn't close enough in order to affect it. So there's like this dark area here, and you can make some really cool stuff by playing around with the contrast on those areas. One last thing. Okay, if you can read that, it's a cast shadow. And what a cast shadow is, in case you don't know, is it's literally just a shadow that this thing casts. If the light is coming from like here or something, perhaps the shadow will be like that. And you can see that the light is getting blocked by this. So there's not that much light here, but the light from like here and there will bounce up into it in this area. A bunch of techniques that you can use today in your next piece, and make sure to use them because I'm telling you, it'll make your drawings so much better. So I keep going, and you can see all of this isn't even that detailed. It's just a bunch of blobs at this point because I'm just trying to get the overall flow. And you can see here, like sometimes maybe your shadows aren't dark enough. You could just darken them. It's not that big of a deal. You can, and how you do this, in case you don't know, go to filters and you want to go to HSV adjustments and you could darken them. Look at that. Everything darkened except for the bounce light that we have here. And we can also brighten our highlights. And as you can see here, now I'm starting to render, and this is a specific rendering technique for clothes. I mostly just try to go in these streaks. So as you can see here, I have like a bunch of streaks where I'm trying to estimate like how light would affect these areas, because this is a jacket, right? And a jacket won't look this puffy unless it's like a massive puffer jacket. But I wanted, you know, a bit of a big jacket, but like a windbreaker sort of thing. So I have these lines, and it might look like I know what I'm doing. I am just trying things and seeing what sticks, because sometimes I'll do a good move and then I'll do more of that. So a lot of it is about experimenting. I have done something like this before, which is why I was more comfortable with it. And then there we go, ambient occlusion. And I'm just adding a bunch of layers at this point. Like I'm removing some of the line art, making that brighter, adding shadows. So as you can see here, and I don't know if you noticed that, I literally just changed how the pants look. So again, if you don't like how something looks, you could change it. There's no problem in that. And now I'm adding a bunch of gradients. So from here, I didn't really know what else to do, but I knew that the light source was coming from this area. So obviously the area not hit by the light, which would be like here, here, and here, would be darker. So all I did was I added a gradient, made some parts lighter, added some snow, and now I'm just making the highlights even brighter and the darks darker. But I'm not trying to make anything pure white. And I'll tell you why right now. Because when you're going to color, if you make something pure white or pure black, first of all, you can't color white or black. It's going to stay white and it's going to stay black, which will ruin the color of your drawing. And let's say, for example, you have something super, super bright. If you have it at white already, you can't make it any brighter. And this is a big problem when you're like, wait, I need this to be brighter, but then that's already max brightness, which means everything has to be darker. And now you're trying to experiment a ton, and it's taking a lot of time, it's using a lot of energy, and it's just not looking great. And now what I'm doing is, I didn't have line art before this, so I don't do line art typically. I mostly just have, pencil markings. And right now, it looks cleaner because I just removed a bunch of those markings. So make sure to clean up your lines later. You don't have to make a line art, but make sure they're a kind of clean, a bit clean. And there's one thing I want to teach you right now, which I did not know about at the time: atmospheric perspective. So this character should actually be quite a bit darker. It should have more contrast because one, this is the focal point, but two, this is closer to the camera. And what atmospheric perspective states is that, like in the real world, when something is far away, like these mountains, they should be less contrasty and overall brighter. Same with this snowboarder. She shouldn't have been, she's almost as dark as her. So I should have made her less contrast, a bit brighter, and made her blend in a little bit with fog and mist into the background so that your eye goes here first, sticks here, and then you're like, oh, the atmosphere is really cool. And then you go back here. Just a mistake on my end. And right now I'm just doing the same thing. Now I do make the background a bit brighter, but still this skater is pretty pretty bright. And then I made the background darker again. So here was actually pretty good before I darkened everything. I darkened everything. I add even more. I try to make the highlights on the metal a bit more brighter and more specular. And there we go. I just added an overlay, added some blur and some darkness towards the camera. And that's it. That's basically how I rendered this. And as you can see, it's not actually super difficult. After you do this a couple of times and you get the hang of your workflow and how you like to put stuff, it's more just instead of thinking on what to do, you're like, oh, next is lights. Next is shadows. Oh, did I add ambient occlusion? Oh, I forgot to put a cast shadow, right? Oh, this material is soft. Let me blend that a bit. Oh, this material is harsh. Let me not do as much blending. The overall steps are simple, but you gotta get used to it. And with that, you are ready to add grayscale to your next piece. But hold up, wait a minute. It's tip time. So guys, not feel pressure to use as little layers as possible. I know, like, you see, oh my god, this professional used only 3 layers. Oh my god, this professional used only 1 layer. Oh my god, this professional used no layers. Don't worry about using so many layers. Use as many as you like. I use a ton of layers as well. You saw in the tutorial, like, how many layers do I have here for like a little bit of extra polish? A lot. But try your best to stay organized as well. Even with all these layers, after I export it, I have, okay, this is my export. Now I start working on top of this export. So everything below is like things I've previously done. It's the way that I can stay organized. Even at the beginning, like, I have some groups, like I have thumbnail sketches. I have groups for like previous thumbnail sketches. So it's not like I'm not trying to be organized. If you keep focusing on, oh my god, I gotta stay organized. Oh my god, this is out of place. You're gonna be so focused on organizing that your rendering is gonna suffer because of it. Number 3, think of everything in planes. That is why I have the arrow at the beginning, because this arrow helps remind me that, hey, there's a light source and not everything is flat. There's like planes to this. So perhaps in this cylinder, one plane is like here, right? It's like this sort of boxy thing. And then another plane is like here on the side, here at the bottom. The leg has one plane here for the top, one plane here for the side, and a bottom. I know planes might sound complicated. It's literally just, okay, which part of the object is the light gonna hit? Which part of the object will have shadows? And using the arrow can really help you visualize that. Give yourself some time, please. It took me like 3 to 4 fully rendered drawings, like multiple weeks working on this, multiple hours to get into the swing of things. And even I'm still not super proficient. I've gotten a lot better than before, and I've been able to like teach you about it. But sometimes even I struggle with thinking, okay, what's the next step? But every time that happens, realize that after you figure that out, on your next drawing, you're gonna get to that point and be like, oh, I know what to do. So each drawing, you're gonna get better, faster. And at a certain point, you're gonna be like, man, I kind of want to experiment. I kind of want to struggle because I want to improve. Because if you're not struggling, then how are you supposed to improve? Thank you so much for watching, and don't hesitate to ask for help in the comments down below. Someone or myself will do our best to help you out. And be sure to pick up your stylus and consider subscribing so that you never miss a video. My name is Ansh, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.